So, why play a game like Kill Team solo? Does it have any benefits at all, or is it just for people with no friends? Well, kind of both, and you can let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to talk through the pros and cons of playing solo. Some of these points will count for you, and some of them may not. The video playing in the background is from my epic musical solo mission that I did with the sniper mission pack. It's well worth checking out. I'll pin the link for it somewhere. So to begin with, I've loved Kill Team from when it first released in 2018. I learnt the basic rules on my own and then taught my children to play with me once I had a decent grasp of those rules. They've grown up a bit now and have moved away from playing with my toy soldiers, and now they're just glued to screens all the time, and I really have to force them to play with toys. I don't have any friends who play any form of war game, and I don't really live close enough to a game store to play organised games with anybody regularly. So this leaves me with a great hobby to fill my time, but with no one to consistently play with. I have a clear choice really, and that is to play solo for the majority of the time or not play at all. Okay, so first the pros then. Now obviously you can play whenever you like. You can play whichever team you like. Even you can mix and match teams or play proxy teams, and there's nobody having any kind of problem with telling which model is which. You could, if you wanted, play an illegal team just for fun with, for example, like all heavy weapons or such like, as long as you make it a bit of fun as well for yourself by upping the amount of MPOs you're up against or their threat level. It's also a great way of learning a new team, and not so long ago I listened to just another Kill Team podcast where one of the guys was talking about practice games and homebrew teams, and he was talking about learning new teams by upping the threat level as you become more familiar with them, and that makes a lot of sense and is something that I've done as well as I was learning new teams, and actually something that I've always done when learning new rules and with the new additions as well. And like now it's just a valid way of playing, isn't it? I also love the fact that you can create narratives and storylines that you can play out in the way that you want, making specific moves for the sake of that story and not because you're worried about winning. And also following that story from one game to the next. It also means, dare I say, that you can maybe botch a rule or slightly change an outcome to follow that story if that's the way that you want that story to go, and obviously within reason. As well, like just in the background here, you can add things in just for the narrative. So for example, the big aircraft can be used just as a story, just as a plot line, and again you can use it how you want, and nothing's gonna stop you from doing that. So are there any cons then? Well, obviously, leading on from one of my last statements, the temptation for cheating is quite real, and if you're trying to complete the mission, yeah, I'm guilty of re-rolling a dice or two. Also, the MPO behaviour is quite simple, and you have to be true to yourself when deciding what the MPOs would actually do. And this is quite straightforward if you're if you're just up against a bunch of mindless zombies, but harder to do if you're fighting against a more complicated team. I mean, obviously you can randomize activations or deployments, but you're not gonna be able to practice against those gotcha moments that a real player would get you with, and the ploys that you come up against. Although you could add certain ploys in as you see fit and certain special rules. Anyway, it's quite hard to see your meticulous plan fail and your favourite operative cut down early in a game, especially if that's because you've rolled against yourself and you've been the reason that they've died. Probably though, the biggest con in playing solo is that you don't have any interaction or banter during the games, and as we know, the social side of gaming is so important. However, if you can't get a friend for a game, or you have to play right now with maybe limited time, then solo is the only way you can do it. And mainly I like it because I can have my own type of fun, my own way, and I don't feel constrained by any of the rules, and I don't feel that I have to comply with things that I don't like. So yeah, my own fun, my own way. Please do click on the link and watch this video in the background as it was meant to be seen. I really loved making it, and it's a great one to watch. Anyway, and bye for now.